Hey everyone, Abigail is the newest addition to my best vampire films to watch list. There's so much to talk about with this film, especially if you're like me and you love a good vampire film that feels fresh, new, and inventive while still staying within the general rules of vampire lore. If you like this review, please do be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos. So, Abigail, it's this new horror film about this crew of bad guys, who are hired to kidnap a child for a big payday. And part of the job, they have to hold on to her for 24 hours until the girl's father pays the ransom. The client, who's kind of handling the business side of the kidnapping, brings them to this really old mansion, like I should say, really old, creepy mansion in the middle of nowhere for privacy and security reasons. Then he also takes their cell phones away, gives them fake names, and tells them not to reveal any real information about themselves to each other during the job. However, after the client leaves, things really start smelling fishy and quickly go south when they become trapped in the house. And then, just for fun, they find out that the child is actually a vampire. It's a great setup and it works really well. Horror films where people are trapped for legitimate reasons are so much more entertaining because it really does turn into an escape room like situation where you have to kind of think outside of the box. And that's exactly what they do as a group of bad guys who start pulling their vampire knowledge in order to figure out how to survive. It's fun, and it's a really fun way to see what vampire lore works in this film and what doesn't, because that is one of the ways that Abigail keeps itself from feeling dated and stale. The Last Voyage of the Demeter is another really great example of a vampire film that knows exactly what it is and understands how to keep a savvy audience locked into the film without getting bored by the same old vampire tropes. While these two films were really written and directed by totally different production companies, I feel like I feel like they both kind of signal an exciting turn in cinematic storytelling for horror films. That said, I wish the trailer hadn't given away that the child was a vampire because you walk into the film feeling like it's this setup for a vampire to safely hunt bad guys in her house. And I understand why they did that. Yeah, it helps to sell tickets because who wouldn't want to see a little ballerina vampire girl chase down bad guys? Every horror fan wants to see that. However, I still think that they could have sold the vampire story without outing Abigail in the trailer. People would have been intrigued enough to watch the film and then tell their friends, you have got to see this film. The twist is great. And the twist, for the most part, would have been kept a secret long enough to create some buzz, just like they did for the twist in The Sixth Sense. People love a good twist, especially when there are kids involved, and everyone loves being in on the secret. However, Abigail still manages to hold a few cards back, keeping some of the surprises up its sleeve, and that allows the audience to just kind of keep guessing where the film's going to go in most cases. There are some really interesting themes that get tackled in the film. The three that rose to the top were the relationships between absent parents and their children, the subversion of terror at being an adult trapped inside a child's body forever, and how even vampires are impacted by social constraints and norms within a human world. Abigail, as a kidnapped child, reveals to Joey that her father won't pay the ransom because he just doesn't care. And in that moment, we get this really honest glimpse into Abigail's pain and what drives her as a vampire. We also see Joey have an emotional response to that statement as she shares her own truth about wanting to get home to her son. As I left the theater, I just kept thinking about Interview with a Vampire. You know, that part where Claudia is screaming, she's the child that Louis turned into a vampire, and she's just screaming at him that he didn't love her anymore and he would forget about her. The idea of being hundreds of years old and being trapped inside of a child's body, unable to navigate a world designed for adults, is terrifying. All of the actors in the film did a really good job with their roles, creating distinct characters who felt like they played a unique part in the story. This is something that you don't always get with a large ensemble cast. However, Alisha Weir, who plays Abigail, does a fantastic job with her role. She is fun and playful. She feels like a kid, and yet she also completely pulls off the role of an angry adult trapped in a child's body. It's shocking how good she is at flipping the switch from scared child to vicious adult vampire. And that makes her even more terrifying. Earlier, I mentioned The Sixth Sense and Interview with a Vampire. And I think there are some really good parallels between these horror films. And two key themes that stand out are well-written exploration of characters who are trapped in a physical state of childhood, and the presence of a truly gifted child actor. In all three films, Haley Joel Osment in The Sixth Sense, Kirsten Dunst in Interview with a Vampire, and now Alisha Weir in Abigail, all pull off adult-like versions of their characters who have a deep understanding of their situations and what it means for them personally. Like Osment and Dunst, I think Alisha Weir will be someone who finds a lot of roles for herself in the future. She's definitely a keeper. And Abigail itself is also a keeper. I highly recommend this film to anyone who loves a good horror movie. It's smart and savvy and will definitely keep you entertained, even though you may be able to predict some of the twists and reveals. Because the main character is a child, parents might want to let their kids watch the film. However, you have to remember the vampire inside of Abigail's childlike body is an adult. So the themes, violence, and twists will likely be scary to kids who are under 13. So Abigail, what did you think of it? Did you watch it yet? Were you surprised by how good it was? What did you think of the twist? And am I the only one who wants to see Abigail Part 2? Let me know. Drop a comment below and tell me what you think. All right, that's it for now. Be sure to give this review a thumbs up if you liked it and subscribe for more videos because there are more coming. Thanks, everybody. I will see y'all again soon. In the meantime, happy viewing. Bye.